Marcus Corval with MMA Nut and Systems Training Center, and we're here with a new BAMMA champ, Terrion Ware. How do you feel after 5 rounds?
I feel amazing. No, I'm lying. I'm tired as hell. That was a tough fight, man. Eric Winston, I give him all the praise in the world, man. He brought it tonight. I just had a little more in the gas tank, and that's only to attribute to my coaches and all my training partners, the System Training Center, and Team Victory in Inglewood, for pushing me every day. And we go hard on Fridays. We do 10, 11 of these rounds, man, where I have, some of the best guys in the world. So, training with them, coming against anybody else, it's a cakewalk. Not that it was a cakewalk, but it makes it a lot easier.
Now, you look like a professional boxer out there. It was it was pretty obvious what you were trying to do, keep the fight standing, outboxing, which you were doing. But it had you in a couple of situations on the ground, especially with the rear naked choke. Were you ever in trouble?
I was in trouble a little bit in the rear naked choke, but and again, I was fighting with a heavy heart with my grandmother on my mind, and like I said, I posted it everywhere on Instagram that I was willing to die for this belt, and he was gonna have to kill me in order to take this belt from me. So even though I was in trouble, I knew I was gonna figure a way to get out of it, and I kept my composure. He had it in tight. I peeled his hand away from the back of my neck. He did it technical, perfect. There's nothing else you can do at that point for him. I just wanted it more, and I peeled it off, and I feel like he burned his arms out after that, going for that choke. And I started going for it, and and the result is me being champion.
Your grandmother passed away just a few days ago. My condolences. Coming into the fight, do you feel like it motivated you more, or was it hard for you to focus? Because I know she raised you like your mother.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. It wasn't hard to focus, having the guys I have in my corner and having my teammates, pick me up. The day that she died, I was in the gym. I went back to the gym that night cutting weight. Everyone came up to me, gave me a hug, said their condolences, and it was back to work. My grandmother is one of those people who taught me basically all the values that I have in life, and one of them was, no matter what, do what you say you're gonna do. If you sign a contract to fight, it doesn't matter if you're physically able to fight, then you fight. No matter what it is, she was always a person about her word, and that's what she taught me, is keeping my word, keeping my promises. If I sign on the dotted line and say I'm gonna show up, if I'm physically able to, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna fight. No excuses. Whether I won or lost this fight, I wasn't gonna blame it on the fact that I lost or not a heavy heart. She was definitely my motivation. There was times in there where I felt kind of tired, and anyone could have easily given up, but I can just hear her, waking me up in the morning on days when I'm sick, telling me to get my butt up and go to school. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I was doing in the fight, get my butt up and go to work. And, so there was, even though it was tough, she's my angel on my shoulder. She kept me safe and kept me motivated and pushed me.
You've definitely shown that heart before, resilience. You were a really promising young baseball player, and you had some injuries that took you out of the sport, correct?
Yes. My entire life I was training to be a baseball player. That's all I wanted to do. I idolized Ken Griffey Jr. My grandmother was the first person. She took me to the park one day. I saw some kids playing baseball, organized baseball, and that's what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to do it, and sure enough, the next day after school, she took me up there and surprised me, signed me up for baseball. I've been doing it ever since. I played up until the age of I was 22 years old. I kept blowing out my shoulder. I made it to the Dodgers minor league team, played for a year, and just couldn't get my shoulder in line, and I ended up getting cut. I spent the year, then I started playing semi-pro football, playing with these behemoths. Had no business being out there, being 145 pounds, trying to play quarterback at that. And I tore my MCL, broke my hand. Sat on the couch for a year, got fat, got up to 185 pounds, never been that fat in my life. I had been watching the UFC for a while, and I had a background in karate and a little bit of boxing, and I was like, hey, man, let me just go join a gym. These guys look like they're in shape. Let me go lose some weight. Lost 30 pounds in 2 months. Coach there at the time asked me if I wanted to fight. 8 weeks later, I was fighting a guy who had 8 years of experience. I went out there and, put on a war. He guillotined me in the first round. And immediately after the fight, that's all I wanted to do. I was hooked. And from there on out, I was training 6 days a week, 5 hours a day, losing my mind in the gym. Coaches having to kick me out of the gym because I was in there, doing too much and just training. And that's how it started for me. And you fast forward, 3.5 years later of training, I'm knocking on the door of the UFC, at least I believe, and I'm the BAMMA USA champion, one of the best guys in California in my weight class. And it's not a long road. It seems like a long road, but it's been very short. And I just can't wait to spend the rest of my life training, becoming a champion, and someday opening a gym and doing something for a kid what I've worked here to do myself.
Talking about the UFC and your resilience as well. You made your pro debut fighting on the same card as me. You fought sick. You were thrown up in the change room before the fight. You lost your pro debut, but since then you now have gone 11-2 in what, 16 months?
Yeah, it's been about 18 months, give or take. It's still a lot of fights in a short period of time, and if you average it out, that's basically a fight every 5.5 weeks. Which is, pretty much unheard of, in this day and age in the modern sport. But this is what I love to do. I mean, if I'm physically able to fight, if my manager, Ray Lopez, calls me up and say, hey, you want to take a fight? I look over at my coaches, I say, what do you think? If they say, yeah, I can take them, then let's go time. Because for me, I mean, you tell me to fight Jose Aldo right now, I'm going to fight him. So I got to leave it up to my managers and coaches to make those decisions because, I'm a fighter and I'm an idiot. But
you don't fight at 145, you fight 135.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Henan Barao, whatever, any of them. I'm always down to fight. I'm always down to put on a show. And, I'll go out there and die doing what I love. I'm here to try to make it better for my wife and my son. I'm not living in the most ideal situation I like to live. We make it through. We're happy, and that's all I care about.
Now, talking about the UFC, again, it's pretty much unheard of going 11-2 in 16, 17, 18 months. Do you think you've done enough? You fought in RFA with 4 days' notice, replacing me after I had a fracture on my orbital bone and nose. Like you said, if you're willing and able to fight, you're willing to fight. So RFA, one of the biggest organizations out there, now being the BAMMA title holder for 135, do you think you've done enough to prove that you belong in the UFC?
I definitely think so, but again, I'm no expert. Sean Shelby, Joe Silva, those guys, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for years. And I feel like I'm ready. Hopefully they like what they see. Every time, you can look up all my fights. They're exciting. And I think that's what they like. They're exciting, and I'm a winner. So what better combination do you want? I'm going to go out there and put on the same type of show. I know those are some of the best guys in the world, and I got to buckle down and prepare hard. If it means me, calling out some days on work and getting into the gym and training more, that's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm here for. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter first. Well, I'm a husband and a father first. But the fighting is definitely right in hand with that, and that's what I want to do. And if they think I'm ready. I'm going to go take some time off. Take some ice baths or whatever, enjoy my family for a little while, get back in the gym, help my boys train for their fights coming up, and be ready if the UFC calls me at any time. I'm always ready. I'm always ready to go, and hopefully, they think I'm ready. If not, it'd be very nice to defend this baby right here. Back here, basically my hometown here in BAMMA, USA, and we'll see. But right now, my mind is focused on my family and focused on my training partners. They helped me get ready for this fight, and I want to do the same for them.
You heard right here at Commerce Casino in California from the new 135-pound BAMMA champion. Dana White, has it done enough? Do you want to see him in the UFC? Systems Training Center, Terrion Ware, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.